Hello friends, today we are going to discuss a very interesting but wrongly debated issue of Aryan versus Dravid. The theory propounded by the British that Aryans came from West Asia or wherever from, and they pushed Dravidians from their homes in Indus Valley uh, and they settled down in the south. Many evidences are coming up. The latest one is in near village Badaut in Bagpat district. Fantastic discoveries parallel to Indus Valley uh, from 4000 BC to 2500 BC. But today I'm going to relate this so-called Tamilian culture with Vedic culture. Tamilian politics revolves around Tamilism, the Dravidians. We are different, they are different. If you agree to the British view that Dravidians, they were more evolved, they were more intellectual, they were strong people, they created such a great Indus Valley, then one question that arises is that if they were different and if they were intellectuals, Aryans were nomads according to them, then we must find a unique Dravid literature of that time from 2000 BCE to 1000 CA. We don't, because they were not different. And this has been explained in a new book by Dr. Ramachandra Nagaswamy, more than 90 years old, a famous archaeologist, historian, Indian Indologist, you can say, and expert in Sanskrit. And he has written about Tiruvalluvar and his book Tirukural. Tirukural is a classic written either 1st century BCE or 1st century after Christ, Common Era, CE. But the British and the Germans, they have tried to prove, has been proved wrong, that this Tirukural was written in 10th century, and they have tried to show that this book by Tiruvallavur, it is encouraged by, directed by the instances, the philosophy given in the Bible. Tiruvallavur adopted biblical concepts and thoughts and wrote this book Tirukural or Tirukural. Now this word very common in South Indian languages. We do not have any phonetic word in English, but in Hindi we can write it in a way that put da below the la. Still most of the people in the north and others, they won't be able to pronounce. This Tirukural in 1330 verses, and it is in 3 volumes. The first volume talks about Dharma, the second Artha, and the third Kama, and these are named Aram, Porul, and Kam. You know, there are 4 ashramas, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa, and we have 4 Purusharthas. 4th one is Moksha. Tiruvallavur has not written about the 4th Purushartha, Moksha, because our ancient texts, others also, they conclude that moksha cannot be communicated, moksha cannot be told, moksha can be experienced. He has talked about in this Tirukural about the four ashramas, the way it is discussed by Manu, and that applied to the Varnas as defined by Nirukta Shastra. I have already said in one of the videos about Varnas. The knowledge that was imparted, Brahmacharya, one had to go to Gurukul. And this word Guru, it has no equivalent in any language. You can say it's teacher, but teacher is Shikshak. He gives you knowledge. We had Shikshaks, we had Acharyas, and we had Gurus, and similar people that had great, that received great respect, and they had different statuses, and there were different meanings to that. So a child will go to the Gurukul at the age of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Generally it was 7, 9, 11 for the three Varnas. I have already told you that the Shudra was not there. And it was the term Shudra appeared once only in the 10th Mandal of Rig Veda, and historians agree that this 10th Mandal was added much later. So at Gurukul, one would learn depending on his capacity and capability, and after the person graduated, he or she would be accorded the Varna by the Guru. So it was an achieved status, Varna. A number of other things were taught other than the knowledge. You had to gather bhiksha from grihasthis, and that way you learned to keep your ego under control. And also because you were passing through from childhood to adolescence to adulthood, many weird kind of thoughts would come, and you will also be trained regarding how to control your senses. And these qualities would be very important in future life. Say for example, if you know how to control your ego, ego clashes are the most common cause of clash. Crime related to sex are more common because you have no control on your senses. So after finishing, the Varna was assigned, and if you wanted to change your Varna, you could have the knowledge, the experience, the rules and regulation from another group. Instances are there when you would be given the Varna of a Brahmin, but you wanted to change to Kshatriya. You went to another group. That was an achieved status. So after Brahmacharya, you would enter Grihastha, the life of a Grihasthi family. This diagram above, that shows that dharma is at the core of every activity. And what is dharma? You equate with religion? No. We have no equivalent of dharma in any language. We don't have religion in India. we divide history into that is a Hindu period. No, it is not. The Hindu word was never in vogue. In no Shastra you will find the word Hindu. It is always written Sanatan Dharma, the eternal Dharma. And what is the Dharma? Again, Manu Samhita has given 10 characteristics of Dharma. These are patience, Kshama, self-control, non-stealing, cleanliness, control of organs, benevolent intellect, spiritual knowledge, benevolent truth, and non-anger. Out of these 10, which you find is related to religion? So, the issue of dharma, man has the dharma, manavta, humanity. That's why in every prayer we speak about सर्वे संतु सुखिना सर्वे संतु निरामया, सब सुखी रहें, सब निरोगी रहें. Even when you finish आरती in a temple, धर्म की जीत हो, अधर्म का नाश हो, प्राणियों में सद्भावना हो, प्राणियों में, मानव में भी नहीं, एंड विश्व का कल्याण हो. So, equating dharma with religion is the greatest blunder of today's politics. And if you consider our ancient heritage, which is India's cultural heritage, not belonging to any particular religion, then most of the issues confronting communalism, religious discord, we can eliminate easily. And dharma, the duties which are there, the regulation that is there, that continues through life, and that brahmacharya is the first stage. So then you enter grihastha by getting married. And interestingly, both bride and groom, they had equal rights. The Western scholars, they cry about Indian patriarchy. They forget that they had their own patriarchy, which was much more damaging to humanity. How they spread their religion, the Abrahamic religions, every record is there in history. So equal rights were there. Like I told you also in a previous video, like Bhishma tells that your guru, he should be 10 times more respectful than any ordinary person. A father should be respected 10 times more than the guru. And a mother must be respected 10 times more than the father. We do have the evidence that at least 30 women, Ratnins, contributed towards the writing of Rig Veda. So, as a principle, and over a period of till you can say what you call as medieval India, because historians have said it. Otherwise, history is an ongoing process. The role of women has been commendable. So you enter grihastha, and in grihastha you perform many things based on dharma. One thing is that dharma is the only purusharth that continues throughout life. In grihastha, two more are added. One is artha and one is kama. Artha means material possessions, kama means physical enjoyments and aesthetics. Both had to be done as per dharma. And for Brahmins, Brahmin had to enter brahmacharya at an earlier age than the other varnas. and they had strict code even during Grihastha. Like in Kam, they could meet together hardly 3 times a month. And in terms of earth, they could retain only what was required for the day. They couldn't collect more, preserve more. Now, the rules were framed by Brahmins and strictest rules for themselves. That's why Brahmins were most respected. Besides, they were the bank of knowledge, experience that they distributed to the society. Then Grihastha was, you can say, the most important ashrama for the perpetuation of society. Because in Brahmacharya, firstly, you had to adore your deities, your guru, your Pitri. Great respect had to be given. And not only that, a grihastha had to absolve himself of the 5 rinas. These are also called 5 Mahayagnas. Panch Mahayagya. Daivarin, Rishirin, Pitririn, Atithirin, and Bhut. Generally, in the texts in social sciences, either 3 are described or 4 are described. Rarely 5. First 3 are there. Then Atithirin. Who is Atithi? You can equate Atithi with guest, but it is wrong. Atithi means Atithi. Atithi, the one who comes without a date. And who can come without a date? It is either Brahmachari, who is a Bhiksharthi, or it would be a Sannyasi. And Sannyasi would go for Bhiksha only after Grihas have finished their meals. Today we are going to talk only about the first 2 ashramas only. Grihastha ashrama, and 5th one is Bhutarina, taking care of worldly life. World is a home. You must have seen some people offering 7 types of grain to the birds, or giving wheat and sugar to ants, or water to plants, keeping water and food separately in one part of your home for birds. Taking care of whole of the worldly life means we were the first environmentalists. So these, after these, finishing these, actually Brahmacharya had different ages to enter. Up to 25 it was. Thereafter every stage would be 25 years. Now the one question that arises is that in our philosophy, life is said it is meaningless. Life is Maya. Only Atma survives. And on the other hand, the elders, they bless you with 100 years of life. Shtam Jivi. There is no contradiction. Because after passing through so many yonis, you have entered this yoni of humans. So you must justify being human. There was one caveat in Grihastha that Brahmins could directly shift from Brahmacharya to Sannyasa. Otherwise also it was a scheme. It was not a rule that every family, every individual has to pass through all these 4 stages. That was the ideal rules. So Grihastha was the most important ashrama because the children were born through grahastha, perpetuation of society. You are offering food to the hungry, crime related to hunger won't be there. You are spreading the message of your guru and rishis and devta, spreading the wisdom that you have gained. Of course, most crucial would be sannyasi, but grihastha has a role to perform. So after 50, vanprastha, and after 75, sannyasa. And if you have lived your life as per dharma throughout, you achieve moksha, salvation. Salvation from this cycle of birth and death. Coming back, this concept of punarjan, this is not peculiar to Hinduism only, it is there in Buddhism. And people, there are historians who say Buddha created a separate religion, but Buddha never wrote about it. Now, these descriptions which I am telling you, these are given in Thirukural, written by Dr. Ramachandra Nagaswamy, and traditional things are there. You can say if you already know, then nothing new. New is that the Tamil Dharam Shastra, you can say, Thirukural, has the same content, has the same sequence, has the same rules to direct human life. And people in South, they are much more religious than the people in the North. So if you pass through all that, you get moksha. Otherwise, punarjan. This concept of punarjan, I think Shankar explained beautifully. And it was there in the movie that was there, Adi Shankaracharya in Sanskrit. What he says? Balasthavat krida sakta, tarunasthavat taruni rakta, vriddhasthavat chinta magna, hade brahma kopaya lagna. Angangalitam palitam mundam, dishinuvahinam gyatam tundam, vriddho yati gritva dandam, tatpina manchita asha mundam. Punarpi janamam, punarpi maranam, punarpi jananim jatare shayanam, ye sansare kal visthaye, leela pare hon paye murare, dinamapi rajanim sayam prata, shishir vasantau punarayata, kanta krida gachat ayu, tatpina manchita asha vayu. There cannot be any better explanation of Advait in as Punarjanam that explained by Shankaracharya. The point to emphasize is there is nothing called as the Dravidian culture, and if Dravid politics is bent on that, this is all about the way divisive forces were created by the British. I have told you earlier in the videos the history that never was. So that was another step to be divisive. If that was the case, why Shankaracharya kept the boundaries of the country by having 4 mathas at the 4 corners? If that is the case, then why Vishnu Puran defines the boundaries of India as Uttaram Yasamudrasya Himadresya Vidakshinam? Even Hyun Sang, one of my earlier videos. So the time has come, and otherwise also, as Bharatiyas, we must highlight the unifying forces and not the divisive forces. And we should reflect true on the history and not biased on left or right or nationalist or subaltern. The time has come when we must realize our glory and we feel proud about it. Thank you.